I just did my video with NEF, and I wanted to come here to decompress and debrief with you. I talked a little bit about how grief in the last couple of months, in the last year, has been complex, where we're grieving multiple things at the same time simultaneously. As you know, that I've talked about this in the past, when you grieve on multiple occasions, sometimes you activate different nervous systems or different neural networks of survival and or just kind of those survival not good enough instincts, or not adequate enough, or things are out of your control. All these things could be activated. And so I talked a little bit about how it's not just about the idea that people have been passing away, whether they were close to someone or passing away because they, or like leaving jobs or spaces like that. It's the idea that in this time it's been so odd that we can't even be able to connect and be there for each other from the capacity that we are used to grieving. People haven't been able to bury their loved ones in the capacity that they have had before, or implement rituals or memories. And so I've talked about grief in a little bit, but I've never talked about it necessarily from the perspective of, you have the five steps of grieving, which, you have your denial, and then that's just like the idea that it's not happening, or and I talk a little bit about this and how I was in denial about COVID, or you get angry. And no, if you watch it from the NEF perspective, it's not that I got angry necessarily, but you know what, that's not true. I did get angry because it was like, like this is inconvenient from a certain perspective, but at the same time I also was like in this denial place more than I was ever angry, because I thought that it was going to be quick, and this is my vacation from my vacation. I talk a little bit about that, but anyway. So we have denial, anger, bargaining, which is maybe if, depression, and acceptance. And I've heard people going in and out of all of these emotions fluidly, open, in and out, in and out, in and out. And so what I want to share with you guys today is a little bit about where you are in your grieving process. This could be a couple of things. Grieving like a relationship that once was. A lot of people are struggling in their marriages, in their relationships. Did this time show you that you needed a divorce? Did you get a role position change at work? Did you get laid off? Did you have a best friend at work that got laid off? Or are you even just grieving the fact that you are working from home and you spend your whole day looking at people on Zoom conference calls? Are you grieving your old self? For me, I talk a lot about it being like my social self, or like my fun self, or my connected self. My extrovert me has had to be fulfilled and cared for from a very different perspective than I ever have. And I will be the first person to admit it has been rough. And if there's anything I can do is to validate that it's okay that this time has been rough. What I love seeing is that more people have been focusing their mental health and talking about mental health and being comfortable with it. And so if I can normalize that, it's just a part of the day-to-day process. So are you mourning parts of yourself? Or, there are parts of me that have been birthed from this amount of grief. And I love new traits of myself. And there are things that I want to implement when I return back to my new normal. Or will I not go back to the old normal? It will be my new normal. It will be a combination of the healthy traits that I had from the past and from this time of distance from others to grow. And I kind of want to merge those things. So I kind of wanted to share with you some reflections that I have had. So if you want to get yourself seated or, in a comfortable space, just close your eyes or like leave your eyes open, whatever is comfortable for you, but just get comfortable and take some deep breaths. Take a deep breath in and hold it for 3, and then exhale for 3. We're going to inhale, hold, and exhale. Last time, we're going to inhale, hold, and exhale out your nose. The reason that I had us breathe is because anytime I do any reflection work, I like to come centered. I like to come to my self-thought. So some reflection questions I have are, where are you in this grieving process? Know that while you're in maybe anger or denial or depression or acceptance, it's okay to go in and out of them. But in this moment, where do you think you are? And now that you've identified where you are in this process, how does it feel to be in this space? How does it feel to own these emotions that come with this stage of the process? Do you like where you are, or do you wish that you could move to another one? If you have lost something, someone, or some essence, did you give yourself enough space to grieve in peace? How could you give yourself more time if you didn't? How could you have other people meet your needs or help you meet your needs to grieve adequately in this space? Do you feel like you can be vulnerable and honest about your emotions with your family and your colleagues? How can you find the silver lining or celebrate the losses that you have had? What things are you ready to let go of that it no longer serve you in your pre-COVID lifestyle? What changes do you want to remain? Have your expectations for grieving and or a plan for job loss or changes in job, are they realistic? Do you have a plan? How can you improve your work and your home life culture? What are things that you can do to raise your frequency by giving gratitude to the lessons of grief, or gratitude to the things that are working well in your life. What affirmations could help you feel or implement change or make you feel more comfortable with where you are in your grieving process? And do you have identified help, or are you implementing resources for mental health? These are all questions I want you to maybe take some time to think about. You can just either replay this, or you can pause it and journal on this. You can reach out to me. I have this in a pamphlet form. One of the things that I recommend is, really taking care of yourself and doing that self-care, changing up your routine, implementing new rituals, or implementing new ways of remembering, or new ways to remember, or memories for those who have passed, or fun ways to implement change and replace emotion that you lacked. So if it's connection, how can you connect with people? If you didn't get to grieve the loss of someone, how can you celebrate their life? Can you have a ceremony? Can you write about them on a blog? These were all examples that I gave. Can you create a scrapbook? Or have people tell you things that they loved about them? Can you find ways to connect with coworkers in a capacity or in a manner that you had not done prior to the pandemic? And maybe get creative in how you engage, whether it's social distancing activities, or maybe you figure out ways to connect through game online or Zoom, or maybe even just different kind of activities. I know I shared this at the beginning. I opened up a club and I did certain things with my parents to just kind of document their legacy for my kids. And so can you try or start something that you've always wanted to start? I just want you guys to take some time and reflect on these things and start implementing maybe some things that might help you. I know it's been a long year and it's still going, and so take a deep breath and evaluate where you are in this and what you need to feel better. One more thing I'm going to suggest is that if you've had someone who's passed away, sometimes it's best to not necessarily just be stuck in the past or lack there of them not being there. And so exchange those healthy coping skills with also those celebratory ones. So look at photos and read about them, but then go for a walk and talk to people that you care about, or do a workout routine. So getting a hybrid of a little bit of both, so that allows you to celebrate their life but also live in the present moment. If you need anything, feel free to always call me, call Kani, and we can definitely identify or help you work through wherever you are in this process. In the meantime, take care and honor your emotions. They're valid. Bye-bye.